Hello, everyone. We're back at it again with another podcast from Hope Hill Center. We are here with our guest, which is Gerband. As you all might know him, he's very famous in our podcast. Yeah. So the topic today is about boundaries. So we are here with Gerband, and he is going to share with us a little bit of knowledge about boundaries and why it's important to have boundaries in our day-to-day lives, and also like types of boundaries. you know um Thank you for coming, brother.
Oh, thanks, BK. Thanks for having me, man.
100%. And I was just thinking about it before we get into why it's important to have boundaries in our day-to-day lives. I would like you to also like share a little bit of like, how was life without boundaries before?
How was life without boundaries before? In short, during active addiction, I would say it was normal. It was normal. Life without boundaries was normal because I didn't know how life would be with boundaries. You check. It's only after I came in this journey that I took had an opportunity to take a look at certain things in my life, how it was, how it could have been, how it would have been, or whatever. Ne? So life without boundaries was like a house with no door, no windows, a hole in the wall over there, and people can just come and go as they please. They can drop some rubbish over here, they can drop some rubbish over there, they can take something over here, and it just didn't matter. And me being me, obviously, if you bring something to me and I like it, I tend to agree that it didn't matter. You know, have a pee there in the corner, drop your rubbish over there, take a bit here, steal a bit there, you know. And the reason why I didn't mind is because I had lived this way. I would do the same. And if you would have had boundaries, I wouldn't respect them. I would walk through your house and just go about my business. Take something here, leave something there, destroy something there, remove a little bit extra because it's in the way. And that's how I went about life. So, in short, it was just unmanageable.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is some great insight because having no boundaries, we allow others to dictate how we spend our lives, our time, how we feel.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that is some great insight. Thank you for that. So yeah, we gotta get straight right into why is it important to have boundaries. I think that's one of the biggest things that why we are here talking about boundaries.
I get you. And there's for me there's three types of reasons for having boundaries. First and foremost, seeing as that I am the most important person in my life today, boundaries are there to protect myself from myself because I have the ability to destroy myself. All right. And point number two, it's there to protect others from myself and also to protect myself from others. So these for me are the three key points why boundaries is so essential, especially when you're entering recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Can you clarify a little bit on when you say protecting yourself from yourself?
Um, what I mean when I say protecting myself from myself, I have the ability to use myself and to abuse myself at the same time. This neighborhood up here is the most dangerous place for me to live in. I have the ability and the strength to tell myself, let's say for example, if I steal from you, I know I will go to jail if I get caught. And I have the ability to tell myself and convince myself that I will never get caught. You know? I place these things in place to protect myself from myself because in short and the just of it, without God, me, myself, and I are a danger to myself. So I can't drive the car. I can't steer Gerbrand, because when Gerbrand was driving, Gerbrand was going to the merchant, Gerbrand was going to the pubs, Gerbrand was creating his own chaos, you know? So now, by placing my will and my life in God's hands, that is how I protect myself from myself. Because my intuition tells me, I call it the God of my understanding. That little voice inside of us all that says, don't do this, that is what dictates my life today. And that's God talking to me. So if He says, yes, Gerbrand, you're going to hurt Gerbrand if you do this, I know intuitively today to not do it. Because if I do it, I act on self-will. And my self-will, my self-will got me into recovery. You know?
100%.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I get you. So what about because I'm also like, trying to like, get more insight from you since
Okay.
you have a lot of experience in this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So what about like, when you say yourself from others also?
Myself from others. I was the type of person that I like to hurt people. I didn't say I wanted to do it, but the reason behind that I say I hurt people is because I hurt people. I wouldn't take their feelings into consideration. I wouldn't take their boundaries, if any, into consideration. I wouldn't respect their house as a whole. I wouldn't respect that. If you tell me, you know what, Gerbrand, I don't like the way you talk to me, I would disregard that and I would talk to you whichever way I like. If you told me don't do this, who are you to tell me not to do it? I'm a grown man. Don't tell me what to do. I'm my own person.
Yes.
And I manipulate myself and I cause chaos and I actually hurt those people. And it's only when I take a step back and I see that, yes, I hurt that person. But when the opportunity shows up and there's a ability to abuse them again, I'll do it. And that is why I protect myself from others. Yeah.
100%. That's actually great also. Yeah, what was the other one? Others from myself.
And others from me.
Yeah.
During active addiction and even now in recovery, chances are I meet people every single day. And during active addiction, the people I mixed with, my kind of people, were the kind of people who do the things I do, which is to steal, to use, to drink, to hurt other people, and in a way to do crime. So if I am in recovery now and I allow these types of people to be a part of my friend group or to be a part of my family now, what do you think's going to happen? Other people will destroy me. We are in this pattern of taking and taking and taking. So if I allow people in my life and I'm not taking anymore, nothing's going to stop them from walking through my house.
100%.
Nothing's going to stop them from taking a toaster or taking my cell phone or taking my happiness, my joy and my freedom away. Nothing. Because they don't have what I have today. So in order to protect myself from such people is to set in these boundaries. So I protect myself from them as well. Because I'm the type of person that, you know what, if I see an opportunity to help you today, I don't always think it through. I want to jump right in and help. But sometimes it's a bit more dangerous than just to help. You need to assess it sometimes first, because we don't know what the people's backgrounds are, where they come from, what is the particular situation that brings you to me today. If I just jump in, I say, no, come into my kitchen, bro, let's have some coffee, my mugs will start disappearing because I don't know what he's about. Or he takes my peace or he takes my serenity. And I need to watch out for that, because that is something I worked hard for to get back today in my life.
Yeah, 100%.
You get me?
100%. That's what we need as well in our day-to-day life. The biggest thing also I want to know is like, what are the types of boundaries? Like what are the types of boundaries out there?
Well, the types of boundaries, there's 5. So you get relationship boundaries, to put certain things in your relationship, and a relationship isn't just with a loved one. This right here is a relationship. Me and you sitting here having this podcast, this is a relationship. Me and my friends engaging in certain things, that's a relationship. Me and my son have a relationship. Me and my wife has a relationship. It is to put those three things, what I mentioned, protecting myself from others, for myself, and them from me as well. So I put certain things in place of that regarding my relationships. Then we have spiritual boundaries, and these boundaries I put in place to know that I follow my spiritual principles. I don't judge other people's beliefs, because today in my life I'm open-minded, and I know that there's about 7 billion religions out there, or whatever it might be. I need to respect that, because at the end of the day, I want people to respect my choice of a higher power or whatever I might believe in. You check. So I have these spiritual boundaries, and to use them is to have serenity, to have peace, to show love, to be the best version of myself that I can be, and to show love in every aspect of my life. Because those are some of the spiritual principles.
100%.
And then we have intellectual boundaries. Now, these intellectual boundaries help me in a way to assert myself. Like, let's say, for example, I have work to do. I need to do that work. I need to set aside that braai on a Saturday to get to what I need to do to enhance my knowledge, my intellect in what I do today. And then we have time boundaries to make sure we have time for ourselves, for our loved ones, for the people in our lives, and obviously the most important one, time for my program. Because without the program, I don't have these things in any case. And then we have emotional boundaries. Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
And this one is quite important, because the reason I picked up in the first place was because of an inability to deal with my emotions. So yeah, that's quite a profound one.
Yeah, I want to understand more about the emotional boundaries,
Okay. The one about the emotional boundaries for me, from my experience, is to know that each person is unique in his own way. I might feel glad when certain things happen, whereas if another person might feel sad. All right. And I need to have the ability to respect that, whatever situation we are in. All right. And it's also to know that it asserts me in a way to know how to deal with my emotions. Today in my life, if I feel a certain way and I know that I need to reach out and talk to someone, I need to do that. I set a boundary in place. I say, yes, if I get angry, which is fear, when I get scared, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call a fellow addict or call my sponsor. When I experience fear, I need to reach out to a fellow brother or sister in the program to talk about and to get that out. Because when I hold on to emotions, chaos reigns inside of me.
Yeah.
And the most important thing about emotional boundaries is being assertive. To have the ability to tell someone, I don't like this. You make me feel a certain way, and it's not sitting right with me. Not a conversation that is 2 days long, just quick and assertive. And there's something profound in that relationship boundary and this assertiveness. And the best thing that I have learned in these type of boundaries is that no, the word no is a full sentence.
100%.
I don't need no explanation. I don't need to talk 20 more minutes. No is a full sentence. And with that being said, the word no, by me asserting myself and just saying no, I have come to protect myself from others more often than not. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, being assertive also, because one thing I've seen even with me when I started setting boundaries, people never liked it. And I had to understand that, me setting boundaries in my own life, people are not going to like it, but, I don't need you to like it. You just have to respect it.
That's it.
You know? And that's something I've seen. And, being assertive also is not, I'm not setting those boundaries very angry, just, or even when I say no, I don't say no and I'm like, I'm sorry, no.
No, it's just
Or no, I can't.
yeah, I
It's like,
get you.
no, like you said, no explanation. It's like no is a full sentence. Because the minute I say something after it, I'm justifying it. It doesn't mean nothing.
Definitely.
So yeah, with me, setting boundaries, changed my life, and as I live life today, I'm still learning how to set certain boundaries also because there's still a lot to learn from my side. Even when I'm listening to you, I'm still learning a lot, because I can never know too much.
Definitely. Yeah.
So while you're speaking, I'm also like grabbing some perspective and insight, and maybe I missed that part. Maybe I didn't do that part. Maybe I didn't set that boundary correctly.
Right, yeah.
Maybe I need to go back and go to the board and try to do it the right way. Because the biggest thing with me with boundaries, it was a big problem in the past because also I was so much of a people pleaser. If someone wanted help, I would do it regardless of what I'm doing. And I continued doing that so long that I became resentful.
Yeah. No, I get you.
You tend to become resentful, with no boundaries because every person that says jump, you just say hard. And having no boundaries for yourself also, you allow people to walk on you like a doormat. Like you
Definitely.
explained, the house, that house is just open, anyone can do whatever they want.
I get you.
There's no structure, it's basically people disrespect you.
Yes. And you disrespect yourself at the end of the day. Disrespect yourself. And these boundaries, more often than not just early recovery, but even with 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10, 20, I do believe it's some of these boundaries isn't easy, bro. It isn't easy, to assert these boundaries in certain areas is tough. One of the toughest boundaries that I had to put down was to protect myself from someone else. And this someone else is a person that I love very much. It is the person who gave birth to me. It is my mother. So during my active addiction, my mother was my biggest enabler, and because of certain things that happened in my life, my mother was also my biggest trigger in life. So now I had to set a boundary in place to ask myself, yes, do I want a relationship with my mother or do I want recovery? And I took a step back and I said, yes, you know what, Gerbrand, I want both. I want both. But you need to take certain steps. I need to set certain boundaries in place. So a thing that triggered me in recovery was when I reached out to my mother or she reached out to me and we wanted to have a conversation with each other was, unfortunately, my mother is battling her own demons. Today, I know my mother is still stuck in active addiction. What she believes is what she believes. It does not matter to me. But my mother is someone who's still an active alcoholic, So when she reached out to me in early recovery, or I reached out to her, every time I pick up the phone, she would be drunk, and that triggered me. I felt a certain way. I felt resentment towards her. I didn't like it. It didn't sit well with me. And I thought to myself, yes, you know what? I might as well just end the relationship. And when I said that, it is something that I didn't want, So I had to take a step back, look at my program and check, okay, hey, yes, Sam, I have the ability to set in boundaries. So that's what I did. I called my mother one morning very early when I know she's just waking up. I will be able to carry a message. And I set a boundary there and I asked her, you know what, Mom, when we communicate, for my early recovery, can we please, when you call me, just ensure that you are sober minded? I don't want to demand it. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. But I can't talk to you when you're drunk because it's the same conversation every time. It's the same pity every time. It's the same story every time. And it's difficult to go through that every single time. So what I had to do is I had to set a boundary there, and the boundary was that when she wants to communicate with me, please call me when you are sober. And I left it there, full stop. And you know what, BK, because of that boundary, I've been sober and clean for about 3 years and 3 months now. Me and my mother has talked on the phone probably 5 times only in these 3 years. You know, it's sad in a way, but I'm grateful, because I don't get triggered when my mother calls me. I don't want to feel like I need to make the conversation quick just to get rid of this now. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And even, how I know this boundary works. In those 4 or 5 times that she's called, she has been sober. Even if the conversation is only 2 minutes. And that's how I know by asserting myself works. And the times that she does call me when my boundary isn't respected, because some people will not understand the meaning of these boundaries, I don't go about and tell her, yes, I don't want to talk to you, not now, whatever. No. I know the fact that she is who she is, unique in her own way. And I respect the fact that she calls me. I carry the conversation for as long and as well as I can. And I end it and I tell myself, yes, that was tough, but it is okay. And I move past that.
Yeah, 100%. I do hear you. Like while you've been talking, I've been thinking like about setting boundaries, right? And I'm thinking like, most of the times we don't get it right. For the first time we start setting boundaries, like, there was a time I remember when I started setting boundaries, right? I got so resentful that when I said no, it was hectic. Because I kept, like they used to tell me, set boundaries, set boundaries, set boundaries, and that time I flipped and I sweared and I said no, and then I remember, one of my counselors sitting me down and he wasn't actually that mad at me. Actually, I was thinking that was mad at me. I swear that I shouted at someone. He's like, that was the first step. You set the boundary. You just need to set it healthier.
What's next?
It wasn't a healthier way, but I did set that boundary at that time, and then I started learning how to set them healthy. I don't have to get resentful. I don't have to get tired. I don't have to get drained in order for me to set those boundaries. Like you said, it's a long way, and we still learn that there is still one of those boundaries that are still going to be hard to do, But the biggest thing I've also learned, right, about boundaries, people don't like it, yes, but regardless, they're going to treat you the way you're supposed to be treated.
Definitely.
If I say, no, don't do this, you might get mad, but, I'm still going to greet you and be like, hi, do you want some coffee?
Definitely.
Because I'll show you that it's not personal. I just don't like what you did, but we cool. Just don't do it again.
I get you.
But during these years, right, and I can tell you, maintaining boundaries is also one of the biggest things.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
We tend to forget.
That's a tough one.
You're like, yeah, we tend to forget and we're like, yeah, I set that boundary a year ago. And then it happens again and it's like, let me just let it slide.
Next time.
That's the problem. You let it slide once, it's going to become a pattern again. Because one thing I've learned is also people will also test your boundaries. It's like you'll set that boundary 2 times, but they'll come and test your boundaries every single time to see, are you going to be like, okay, let me just let that one slide.
Yeah, is he still the same person or has he really changed?
Yeah,
testing the waters.
It's like a simple example of like, let me say a box of cigarettes. There's just that one person that asks you cigarettes all the time. He's like, can I have a cigarette? Can I have a cigarette? And then you start setting boundaries. You're like, no, right? And then one time you're just happy, and then he says, "Can I have a cigarette?" One time you're just that happy, and you be like, "Here's a cigarette," and then you messed it up.
It starts all over again.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely.
But yeah, maintaining boundaries, like, I don't know, like, if you can give us a bit of insight in maintaining boundaries, because, you know.
No, I get you. No, I like you. Previously you said something. You said that, you know, more often than not you need to change up certain boundaries, you know, and that's the beauty of it.
Mm.
That's the beauty of it. We have the opportunity to change these things up, but we should take a look that we don't harm ourselves or others in the process.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about. I can't just say, okay, yes, I'm busy. My time management is a bit shit. Let me tinker around a little bit in order to get to this. But then you must watch out, because what if I see that, yes, you know, there's friction in the house. There's not much time I'm spending with the kid or the wife or whoever, and I say, you know what? Let me push my other things a bit aside and focus a bit here. I should watch out, because with my time boundaries, my time boundaries entail the time I talk to my sponsors, the time I do my step work, the time I go to meetings, the time I spend in conscious contact with God of my understanding, which is through prayer and meditation, and also time of service. So if I push my program here in the background to enjoy some time with my wife and my son, and it becomes too much, my program is slipping. And when my program slips, I slip. And today I know that anything I place in front of my program, anything, I will lose. So when I need to shift around these things, I need to take a good look at, will everything still work out the way it needs to work out? You know? And then I'm able to say, okay, yes, let me move this a bit, let me move that a bit. This is not that essential. So yeah, you know, I need to take a step back and take a good look at what I remove and what I keep, and if it's healthy to remove it or keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because you just made me think about, like, you know, having boundaries, and you know, boundaries fits in so well with structure.
Definitely.
You know, because I can remember, you know, in early recovery also, like, you know, I really wanted to spend so much time with family, friends, all these kind of things. You know, the people that, you know, in the past 13 years, I never really used to spend time with them, you know. And then in early recovery, you know, I'm clean, and I really want to do these things, but also, like, I found myself, like, you know, having to do certain things, like, you know, focus on my programmers, you know. You know, there's times where, you know, like, friends would be like, "Oh, let's go out to dinner," stuff like that, you know. And as much as I really wanted to go out with them at that time, I really had to set that boundary and be like, "Guys, on Wednesday I'm going to a meeting."
Yes.
You know, at that time I can't, you know, find another time, you know, because I have to go to the meeting, you know, or when I'm busy on a session with my sponsor and stuff like that, and you know, I don't get easily distracted, because, you know, right now in my day-to-day life, you know, the people around me, and I'm talking about the closest people around me, you know, respect my boundaries. You know, they understand that I have boundaries, and they're not angry about it.
I like it.
As
I
it
like
was
it.
before.
Yeah, I like
Right
it.
now, you know, they respect my boundaries, and you know, and and me having those boundaries allowed them to also have their own boundaries, because now the more I started living my life with boundaries, you know, it attracted them to a point where they started asking me, "How do you do this? How can I do that?" You know, and I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest at home, bro. And you know, with this program, and you know, learning these new things in life, like, you know, even my parents can come and ask me for advice to some extent, you know.
Yeah.
You know, where else I had no voice before. I had zero, like, I had no voice, you know.
I get you.
But also, like, you know, me learning new things every day, every year. The cleaner I get, the more knowledge I get, I'm able to help even my family. If they ask something, I'm able to this is how you do this is how you do that. Because they see me and I'm so chill, and some people they would come to my house and then they're like, please go ask BK to do this. And my people, my family be like, why did you go ask him? He's like, he's gonna say no. He's like, okay, so if he says no, what do you think he's gonna say?
No is no.
That's how the beauty of it, that people already know, but they still cool with me.
Yeah. I've come to know that the when I put boundaries in place and I tell people about these boundaries, the people who respect them will stick around, and the people who don't leave without me doing anything. That's how powerful these things are. The people who don't like it, they leave without me telling them to leave, without me asserting myself, without saying anything. They just leave because they see that I'm assertive. I'm doing these things. I'm not messing about this time. This round, I'm serious. I'm doing what needs to be done because I always tell myself, I need to look at what benefits me today and how I can benefit others. I don't want to take anymore. I want to look at what I can give because I used to take a lot.
Yeah, I can relate. I can relate. But that's the beauty of it. We have a lot to give and a lot to learn, and the journey just continues.
Yes.
Yeah, I really appreciate you giving some insight, brother. Like, you gave me insight, and I hope he gave you guys insight. I hope he gave you guys a little bit of perspective, like shifted your perspective. Yeah, this bro, like, he really knows what he was talking about. And yeah, so I think we're gonna end our podcast. But thank you for coming.
Thanks, BK. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your perspective and your insight. I really hope it did something, even if one or two people can get something out of this. It's more than enough.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. So we are gonna end our podcast. So if you want to visit our website, please, it's www.hopehillcenter.co.za. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We would really much appreciate that. Okay. Bye, guys.